I'm sure you're sick of people all over your timeline saying they can scale your online business to 10, 20, and 30K months without actually really knowing if there's any validity behind the testimonials they put out there, or if they actually know what they're talking about and they have any value. Well, I want to do the exact opposite to all the online gurus out there and put out one of my calls that I give to my clients. On this call, I take the Free Thinkers Club, the community that I have that takes people with a skill or knowledge and scales them to 10, 20, 30K months, but show you the value that I have to provide, show you exactly what is behind the curtain of the communities that you see online. In this call, we discuss content, sales, mindset, how to get the best results for your clients, and everything people need to know about how to build and scale an online offer. You'll be able to see the exact service delivery that I give to my clients, the value that I have, and the way that I get to interact with some amazing people on building their offers. So watch the call, take notes, and see exactly what it's like behind one of these online offers. Let's go bottlenecks first. We'll go around the call. Ian, what we do is we go around, everyone says the bottleneck. So if you could just keep it to one simple, this is my bottleneck. And then what we'll do is we'll come up with a little menu of everything we want to talk about, come up with some solutions, jam on what's worked for each other, take us through an hour and a half and go from there. Cool. I'm going to pick, let's go Tommy. Tommy, do you want to fire off for your first bottleneck with the amazing headphones, as always?
Very controversial, these headphones. Bottleneck for me is service delivery whilst getting new clients. That's the main juggle for me at the moment. And I will bash it over. Let's go, Josh.
Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate that, mate. I think for me, bottleneck is content and understanding like exactly what my ICP wants and needs. So yeah, that's the kind of major bottleneck for me. Pass to Remy.
Yes, thanks, Josh. Mainly it's qualifying leads. So let's say I have a lot of leads coming in right now, but I want to have the right ICP, but I'm working on that with Sol. So more qualified leads to sell to. I pass the ball to Bobby. Go, Bobby.
Thanks, Remy. My bottleneck is same as Tommy, delivering a service whilst balancing all the other hats of content and also delivering the service. Passing it to Andrew.
Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, mine's probably the same as Josh's. Sol is just getting that top of funnel content working. I think with that in place, we're ready to really shift. So that's the key focus. I'll pass it to Gabriella.
Yeah, bottleneck is mastering demo calls. Sol knows. I had a bit of a nightmare with that recently. I'll pass it over to Ian.
Thanks, Gabriella. My current bottleneck, 1.5 weeks in, is a slight change in direction of the service that I want to offer. And I'll pass the ball to, let me see who's else on the call. Matthias.
Thanks, Ian. So my main bottleneck is getting qualified leads into the DMs. And I'll pass it on to who hasn't gone yet. Morgan.
Cheers, bro. I'd say my biggest bottleneck right now is just balancing all of the tasks. So like, posting consistent stories, YouTube testimonials, just knowing what to focus on and when. And I think the only person left is Dean.
I'll pass it as well.
He's too busy driving around in supercars in Dubai to work out how to unmute himself. That's the problem.
I didn't know we had a Lambo boy.
Yeah, I know. Basit, you can go next.
Hey.
We got Dean. There we go. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, man. In order for me to scam people correctly, I need to put myself inside very fast cars. So.
It's really the dream, mate. It's what happens when you go to Dubai. It's the fear of Dubai. Hey, it looked great.
It was crazy, man. Yeah. Just for context, everyone, I don't actually have Lamborghini. My friend picked me up in his Ferrari. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Yeah. Let me get some content.
Very valid. Very valid.
Yeah. Regarding my bottlenecks right now, honestly, just trying to get money back off Stripe. Stripe is fucking me over for 10K, which is not ideal, but I'm hopeful I can get some of that back. Outside that, I actually, I'm kind of just like waiting for the system to break, because like things are moving really nicely. I'm just waiting for the point where I can't sustain it anymore from a sales and fulfillment perspective.
Great. And then Basit. Fire it to Josh. I think Basit's, yeah, Josh. I think we got, oh no, Josh, you've gone, haven't you? Yes.
I'm done, but the seats put it in the messages.
Lovely, perfect. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that. I'll take a few little quick wins from those. Firstly, on what Dean said, Stripe, I would highly, I mean, I know sometimes I take payments on Stripe, but I'm moving almost my whole business over to Fanbasis now. I'm in the process of negotiating good rates for everyone, because they obviously give me an affiliate, but it means that I can get everyone else's rates down as well, because they know that I'm going to be taking a lot of volume through. So either use my link because the rates are going to come down, or, you know, move over, because Dean, I had the exact same thing happen to me as Dean has had. So highly recommend not using Stripe. It's just a quick asterisk on that. Technically, you're not allowed to do coaching on Stripe, or there's some like little technicality basically. So it is a pain in the ass.
You get that back in the end, Sol?
Yes, and that was what I was looking into for you, is because I had to actually pull a favor with a school friend who works there. So I've texted him to see what happens. But it sounds like that they're going to bounce all the payments back, right?
I don't know. They're being very vague.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. But I've reached out to my school friend to see if he works there and can sort it all out from the inside, which is a bit terrifying. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, recommend Fanbasis for everyone, or like just not Stripe basically. What else in the? Trying to think if there's anything else easy there. Okay, so I guess the first thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's funny that I got a few of you have spoken about it. The more I'm like building this course and analyzing content and how I can make content as easy for everyone as possible, the number one thing by far, and I even messaged Josh about this a few days ago, or a few hours ago, is when I look through a lot of your content on all of the various platforms, the number one issue is that it's not going to the ICP. It's not going to the person that you wanted to go towards. And some do, some don't. But in general, this is the number one issue across the community that I need to try and get people to get over, is this idea of like never putting anything out there unless it's for the right person. So even when I'm putting up my Instagram stories, even when I'm putting up, even when I'm like, you know, putting captions in my videos, all these things, everything is thinking about, is it for the right human being? And you have to be granular on the person and granular on the thing. So like, you know, I don't know, Andrew, for example, right? Like you obviously go for coaches, but there's 20-year-old coaches who are in this community, and then there's like 40-year-old coaches who've got kids, right? And it's going as granular for everyone as like, how granular can you go with your niche, and how much can you talk about the pain points? Because the more you market the ICP, the easier it takes for people to come. The only other thing that I believe that people miss with that is then just a little bit of authority. And the reason I hosted all my masterminds, the reason I'm constantly putting out Stripe screenshots, wins from the community, business class, photos of me and clients, is to position myself as an authority over that. Like if I posted all my videos with this background in, no one would have any idea about what I was up to, what I was doing, if my business worked. And I thought this the other day, and I was like, guys, I absolutely hate talking about money online. I hate it so much, but I realized no one would listen to me if I didn't talk about it. And for all of you, there is a different thing than a Stripe screenshot. So for everyone here, there's a different variation of what that dream outcome is. But for me, that's the Stripe screenshot. So for all of you, you need to work out what your Stripe screenshot is. My business class is an equivalent of a Stripe screenshot. Me going and like driving in Bali is the equivalent, but it's what is your equivalent? And for everyone, we all have it, because otherwise we wouldn't be doing what we were doing. But you need to work out what that is, and you need to like ram it down people's throats. Like I've got immune to talk about money online, but like I must mention revenue or mention Stripe or stuff like that every day. And people still often ask me like, I don't know if your business works, all that sort of thing. We got to ram this down people's throats as an idea that we have authority to speak on the thing that we're talking about. So yeah, 2 things off that. Conclusion is super clear on ICP. I promise you, the only reason your content is not working is because it doesn't call out people enough who are an ICP. And then added onto that as a little sprinkle is just this concept of being super authoritative. That has helped me a lot. I mean, as a quick anecdote, like I put up the business class story. I only did it because I was like, just be funny to put it up. And I booked like 20 calls straight off that business class story. All because it was the first time that I displayed my business doing well. And obviously my business doing well is the dream outcome for my ICP, right? So that was a shapeshifter for me. Morgan.
Just off the back of that, it's sort of raised an idea I've been having for a while. And it's about like the ICP and the targeting and the offer itself. Like, I don't know if I'm just getting shiny object syndrome and, you know, I don't know, thinking it'll be easier to go this other path. But with my ICP and like calling out copywriters, I often wonder if it'd be easier to teach 0 to 1 copywriting, so turning people into copywriters and selling it more as a biz op, so that I could speak more generally on social media rather than speaking to such a small pocket of people that are already copywriters. You know, because I think now like a bunch of copywriters they want to become growth operators, they want to become like, you know, strategic partners, they want to become like AI automators, and I wonder if like that sort of bubble's gone and I should be targeting people that are working in a job and want to start working online.
You could make loads of money doing that, but you could also make loads of money doing what you're doing right now.
Okay. And so you think
100%, like you could also go and help people go from 5 to 10 or 10 to 15, or you could go and help people, I don't know what else. You could also make an offer of how to help people deal with the first few weeks of having a kid, right? Like there's all these offers, but everyone right here is sat in a vehicle that can make 10, 15 to 100K because there's people doing everything that we're all doing and is doing that. So don't get shiny objects because the grass is always greener for sure. And niche hopping is like starting a new business. So you go back to square one with it.
Okay, cool. So just
and also like abundance, right? Why did you, when you were making 5K a month, why did you keep being a copywriter to get to 10, 15, 20K a month?
Say that again, sorry.
Well, like, you know, you made a decision at 5 when you were making, I don't know, 5, 10K a month that you were going to push to 20K a month as a copywriter. Why did you do that?
Well, because I knew that it was possible and I saw other people doing it. I was like, fuck, I need to do it as well.
I mean, how many people do you think in the world exist who would say the same thing?
Yeah, probably a bunch. Yeah, no, you're right.
Probably like hundreds of thousands, maybe even like, well, definitely tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, I think I need to get a better strategy at like taking advantage of all of these copywriters that are getting burnt by shitty coaches. So like there's like this dude Tyson 4D where he basically tricks people into thinking that you can make 10K in like your first couple of weeks. And so he will turn people from non-copywriters to copywriters. I just need a way of tapping into, you know, helping the people he's burnt.
There you go. There's your first hook.
Okay, yeah, no. Cool. Appreciate
You've been burned by a copywriting coach. You promise you can make 10K. I'm here to tell you that it's fucking hard to make 10K as a copywriter, but having made 20K a month pretty consistently, here are the 3 things that I would do, something like that.
Yeah, no, okay, that's cool.
And I appreciate you sharing that point, Morgan, because the 2 things that I take from that is what I sort of said about niche shopping, which applies to every single person, because I promise you, there is not a single person who isn't on my testimonials channel who is not at one point tried to pivot a little bit. So, and every time I just tell everyone, stop pivoting. So that's like nice to know for everyone, I think. And then the second is, what was my point I was going to make about, I can't remember. It'll come to me. Ian.
So my question has to do with Morgan's and I guess niche hopping, but it's not really essentially niche hopping. It's the stage of where the ICP is at. So essentially the first offer we're targeting at is newbies, 9-to-5ers, essentially anybody that has no experience with e-commerce and get them onboarded. But now I'm moving to essentially people that have done it, don't have consistent sales or just drop shippers, and help them build lasting brands so that they don't just have to be on the customer acquisition wheel and can work on retention and just a lot more interesting and nicer to build a brand than just sell products that die after 2 months. So that's the thing I want to be doing. Also because I feel like I can talk about it a lot more than just I'm going to help you set up Stripe, payment processors, design your Shopify themes. Just boring.
Right. Perfect. Pick either. Either. I know people who are doing either one of those offers who are making 6 figures a month. So just pick either and stick at it.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, that makes sense to me. And make sure you have a chat with James Eardley, who's in the community, who actually coaches on an e-commerce offer. So worth reaching out to him.
Okay, James Eardley, you said?
Eardley, James, and then EARD something after that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Okay, sweet. So that was just one of the ICP thing I wanted to kind of tick off. I think if anyone takes anything from this call, it's just that your content doesn't speak to people. And that's actually the second thing that I was going to say, which is I think a lot of almost like what Morgan was saying, in my space, a lot of the content gurus have sold this like hack of like how to make content. But I genuinely just believe it is about making incredibly interesting with a bit of entertaining content that targets a specific person for a length of time, and you'll get those people coming through for sure. Like there's nothing magical, there's nothing like you can make it from like England where there's not beautiful sunshine. You can sell the dream in Bali, you can go and do it from your bedroom. Like my best performing reels were all when I was in my parents' house. Like there's all these things, and I'm just like, if you make content that consistently goes to your ICP, that then improves time and time again, you make enough so you find the right topics and then you double down on it. That's as simple as content needs to be. The only thing that I spice in there is just trying as much as possible. So being a scientist and experimenting with things. For example, Gabs put out a carousel, and like originally I wasn't really helping people with carousels, it was more videos, but the carousel did well, right? So like there's the industry is always changing, of course. But for now, it's just about being a scientist, trying as much and then doubling down on stuff. And that is me dumbing down content. There are improvements to make everywhere, but that is how simple I believe it is, really. Remy?
Yes. So I had a quick question. What about if you know in your network someone that wants to become like teaching people how to build their coaching offer into the travel creator niche? Because I'm thinking about like I was searching to some competitors. I know that competitors are in general, but not in the travel niche. Based on your knowledge and network, do you know someone that does this with travel creators?
No, sorry, I don't. No, I don't.
No, that's the point. That's the point. That's good.
Yeah.
Because I know Travel Creator does helps people in UGC. Other people does personal branding, but nobody helps travel creators building coaching offers.
Yes, but I would say it's like the good thing about it, what you're doing is you're just helping in a specific niche. So that's fine. Like it doesn't matter. It's like the same thing that I do, just with a specific niche of human being, which is fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was curious if you knew someone in travel niche in particular, but if you don't, perfect.
Yeah. Sweet. Matthias?
Hey mate, yeah, I wanted to ask as well, like speaking on content, like how much does the delivery of your script or your whatever you're saying matter in how the reel does well? Because sometimes I'll film, this will be in the morning when I wake up, and I'll look back at it when I'm editing, I'm like, wow, this is fucking dry, you know? And I wonder like, and I see your reels, like you've got a lot of energy, you're really enthusiastic, you put in that humor as well sometimes. Like how much does that actually matter in your opinion?
I think it just matters that you are authentic. And like I show up that like I'm like that in every interaction with people, right? Like I'm not putting a mask on. So yes, you do have to get into the energy of making content, but at the same time, like you just want to be like there's a person there. And obviously I know you did like a load of stuff with Harry in terms of doing a fake podcast or like a podcast. And that stuff works so well because it just feels like normal, right? It's like you're just having a normal conversation. The only thing that you need to all artificially create is the hook.
Right.
That's the biggest thing that misses from being authentic. Is the problem is people go authentic and then they just do authentic content and they don't think about like massively smashing the hook. Like Mateus, obviously, you know, I was with Mino and I was at dinner the other night with a load of guys. The average following at the table was like 350,000 followers. And all they were talking about was great hooks. Because after that, the video just doesn't matter so much because the hook is the thing that just kills people. So for example, a lot of people, I think maybe the first thing that I would do is just cut out the break at the start, right? Like if you've got a 1 second empty space at the start, you're killing your reel by 50% within the first 1 second. And then if you're just saying something which is not controversial or not going to make someone stop scrolling, then people are just not going to spend any time on the reel. So like when I used to really game my scripts, I would spend at least half an hour exclusively on the script, on the hook.
Wow. Okay. And
Like
you've been doing it for, yeah.
So, and I guess there's a load of frameworks for it, but the simple thing is like, would I stop like scrolling on this? Like, would I stop? So for example, one way to do it is just to flex, straight up flex. But then I was like, okay, well, that's a bit like, it's not really my brand. So the way I thought about it and then was thinking about it, I was like, okay, so I could flex on someone, but then I could like laugh. So I was like, I said my revenue and then I was like, that's so fucking tragic. Anyway, like something like that, right? And you can just see how people would stop on that. Like the question I would ask yourself, Mateus, and I'd ask this to everyone, is would you stop on the reel? Because you're going to be critical about your own scripting, but would you stop on the reel?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's hard to assess your own content, right? You got your ego that's kind of blocking you. But would you say that, you know, you experiment with different points? I know you've been doing like a bit of like slight controversy recently, which has been working really well.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a hierarchy of like scroll stopping sort of strategies?
Controversy is the best. Authority is the best. And speaking directly to someone's pain point is the second best. And then speaking to someone's pain point is the third. The best does all three. So if I was to be like, yeah, so the reason you haven't made 6 figures a month is actually because of the fact that you went to a fucking good university. Do you see what? So authority, controversy, and speaking to someone. And immediately, like one of my best performing hooks was if you went to a middle class, if you went to a Russell Group uni, then you need to be careful to not suffer from the middle class unhappiness trap.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, that blew up only because of the hook. Because like think how much that speaks to someone. So I'd really recommend people spending a lot of time on those hooks. They're so important. And then you start thinking in hooks, and then it just becomes a very natural skill. But at the start, you gotta really over-engineer that. And then of course there's improvements to be made about the script, but I believe the 80-20 rule of content, it all comes down to idea and hook, and then the 20% comes down to the actual script itself.
Solid. Thanks, brother.
There's a lot of frameworks on what you can use and what you can't use for hooks, but yeah, it can be visual as well. People see things before they feel things. So like one thing that I recommend for everyone is to try and put B-roll before your talking head. Because if you're just chilling in a room or something like that, then if you put B-roll of a lovely sunset with a voiceover, then you've already done more to hook someone than you have if you're just in your room. Like that first 3 seconds, incredible. Look at all your retention graphs. Every single one of you will have a retention graph that looks like a cliff and then stabilizes. So it's just how can we stop that cliff? Because it will all stabilize after that, but how can you stop the cliff is the big question.
Got you. Yeah, thanks, man.
Dope. Yeah, trying to think if there's anything else on that. Hooks. Yeah, cool. The seat.
Yeah, so I had 2 questions. The first one was at a mastermind and they were speaking about YouTube as well. And one of the things they said was on trying to track where people come or if they come to your ecosystem. Basically, they were saying if you put some like CTA for people to message you on IG on a YouTube video, so you can like track what's working. So first one was whether or not that's a good idea. Second one was I'm kind of stuck in the low view jail at the moment on YouTube's. I'm getting more consistent, but I'm just trying to see how can I optimize. I've changed some like titles and stuff before, but I just don't know what I should be focusing on.
I was worried when I saw you go into that mastermind because I knew you were going to come with a load of new strategies from people who hadn't. Yeah. Anyway, so what is very enjoyable is you answered my answer to your first question with your second question, which is you should definitely track where people come from with YouTube, but not until you're pumping views. Because you only want to track where people come from once you're very confident that you've got people coming from everywhere. And then we start putting in a tracking system, and then you spend time manually tracking things and having an automated system in right now. The best thing right now for you to do is just ask people on calls. Like, very simple, just ask people on calls where they come from. Like, I do it. I've got a whole UTM tracking system. I work out where people come from in my YouTube videos. Yes, you could have a different keyword in every YouTube video that would then come towards it. But like, bottleneck, right? And your bottleneck is you've not got enough views on your YouTube to make it make sense. So the problem with all these, like, I've just invested a lot of money into a mastermind, and I'm going to make sure that the day before I go to that mastermind, there is nothing on my bottleneck list. Like, I'm so confident. And then what I'll do is I'll get all the to-dos from it, and I will filter through with the nice to haves, and then the things that I'm actually going to like directly lead to income. And so for you, the thing you should be focusing on is smashing YouTube views. The thing you shouldn't be focusing on is tracking where they come from.
Okay.
And then low YouTube jail. For you right now, I've had a lot of clarity on this in my head of the system. Like, I truly believe at the start, YouTube is only useful to nurture people who are coming from your Instagram. So do not even bother looking at YouTube views. Do not even think about YouTube views. Only work on boosting Instagram and using YouTube as a way to connect to those people and build trust with them. Because what you'll see from, and I'll give you context on that, what you'll see from my YouTube now is I'm going to use YouTube as another lead source, which is why I'm doing a load of top of funnel videos, trying to get views. But before that, like, the first good chunk of revenue that I made was all from working incredibly hard on Instagram, taking them to YouTube, and then reselling them on Instagram, as opposed to working out on people finding me from YouTube in the first place. Therefore, views don't matter. You should have like 70 to 80% of your views on YouTube should be coming from external sources, i.e. LinkedIn or Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. I started posting it on YouTube, like you said, I've given it the 12 hours and then putting it on my story. But apart from that, and like sending it to people in conversations, is there anything else you'd recommend to get my IG traffic to?
Just sending them in messages as much as possible. So having them saved in your in your like canned replies or whatever they call them in Instagram, putting Instagram stories up. And by the way, like, that's a good thing you brought up, because actually in that logic means that it doesn't really matter when you post it on your story. So I used to wait a few days. Well, I now wait a few days because I want it to cook organically on YouTube. But now I'm like, I just want to get people to see the video as quickly as possible.
So I shouldn't wait.
Yeah, and that's only a recent change that I've kind of like, it's a recent change because of the fact that you are using YouTube now for a different way that I'm using YouTube, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But they're the strategies. Send it to people in DMs, put it on your story, have comment on your like reels. So say like, comment something if you want this. That's the important thing. But again, the biggest thing for you right now is, well, I mean, do you think have you got a lot of leads that are engaging and regularly talking through conversations?
On Instagram?
Yeah.
Or it slowed down. The last 2-3 weeks it picked up a good bit, and I was sending YouTubes and stuff. And then since my reels have slowed down, my traffic has slowed down. So
And real views or real posting or both?
Real views mainly. I'm posting random stuff now. I've bashed a load of shorts, so those should be going up now from next week. But yeah, ICP stuff wasn't as high.
Great, and then that's like, look, you could install a massive ManyChat system, but right now the only thing you need to focus on is getting your views up on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think that comes like
on that then.
Go.
No, I was gonna say lastly, should I even be focusing on optimizing the actual content of the YouTube, or should I just be focusing on mass posting and get my audience?
I would take Connor's YouTube strategy and just apply it like I'm applying it to Instagram.
Okay.
Which is everything for you and for almost everyone in this call is just about smashing Instagram as much as possible. Like pure volume on Instagram. Like get as much on Instagram as possible. Like why can't you post 3 times a day? Like what is like, if you actually push yourself, like what is actually stopping you posting 3 times a day, 2 times a day? Like that's the challenge that I would give everyone. Like if Connor can make 3 YouTube videos a day, I'm sure we can all make 3 40-second long things. And if you use the viral reels list, if you're using the resources that we've got in the like content center, I've got them made like 10 example reels that everyone can make. I'm starting to build out scripts for all those sort of things. Like for almost everyone here, YouTube is just the way, it's the middle of the funnel. It's the way to get someone to buy who's found you through Instagram. But that only works if someone finds you on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. Every time you post a bit of short form content, it's like buying a ticket to the lottery. So yeah. So yeah, for you, mate, like all of those things, yes. But right now, like YouTube, just focus on making a few, like one, maybe a banger a week, or banger, like 1 or 2 bangers a week, because it's evergreen, right? It doesn't matter to get anything more than that. You just want the evergreen content that you can send to people. And right now you're not doing lead generation on YouTube, you're doing nurturing. So lead generation is on Instagram. And I appreciate like the messages have been slightly confusing over the last few weeks, but I've got full clarity. This is what everyone should be focusing on, is generating numbers through short form, occasionally nurturing on long form. Cool. Andrew.
Hey, so yeah, so a couple of questions. So with the short form content, I was thinking about this since you and I last spoke. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. My sense is that one of the reasons why your content, your talking head content, performs well is that when I look back over your Instagram, your first batch of content was very much kind of that B-roll with you narrating over it. And it feels like you, because you said something into your last call that it's like the Charlie Morgan, he's earned the right to have those different style of videos by doing that much more engaging, aesthetic, interesting content at the beginning. Now, I know you and I are talking more broadly about this, but that feels like the right way to do it. That almost me doing the talking heads right now is slightly working against me until I get enough engagement to get people to do that. But tell me what you think.
Yeah, it's a really good question, because I think, so while I do think that, and I think like your face becomes a hook at some point because people have received previous value from you, I also know people have blown up their whole pages on just talking heads. So I think the important thing is to find a style and pick that style and just run with it in as many ways we can go. Because my most viral reel, when I was still getting no views at all, like this was before any video ever hit more than 6K views for me, was a talking head reel. But it was the I quit my 60K consulting job, which is still a talking head video. But the thing that made it was the idea. The script was like the best script I've ever written. The idea, the script, the hook, and then the B-roll at the start, as opposed to the talking head at the start.
Okay.
You can definitely explode with talking head. We just need to be creative about how that's presented. Like Tom Young's, for example, is all talking head, or almost all talking head. But
he's very aesthetic talking head.
Yeah, but I also know, like, I mean, there's so many people I've seen who are just like not even remotely aesthetic talking head, and they do well. We just need to try a different style. Like, for example, your your video with you about your daughters. Like that could also have been a talking head, right? You just put B-roll in at the start and the middle.
Yeah.
So the simple answer is I would pick a style, which I think we've picked talking head, and just play around with as many different things we can do within that space and just see what works and then go from there.
Okay. Then the when you talk about you talked about the Russell Group stuff, you mentioned about speaking to your ICP and you said that did really well. Talk me through how you saw that as a connection to your ICP, because intuitively it doesn't naturally link to.
So how many people in this audience went to university and got sold the dream of university? Hands up.
Here.
Yeah. Okay.
Was my aim, basically, is like I want to attract someone who is intelligent, therefore probably has more money, but feels that they were stuck on the wrong journey and wanted to pivot. That was my idea with it.
So the underlying theory was the kind of calling out by you were sold the dream and it's a lie. Here's what you need to do instead, kind of.
Yeah. So you're in a job that you hate. You've all previously had a job that you hate, and you can really relate to this idea that the English university system or university system in general is selling you the dream, but to become a factory worker, basically.
Okay. And then just last one from me, so how many, I know the social proof and the authorities matter, how many testimonials did you see that where you started to see the kind of curve really tick up in terms of it making the difference? Is it 10? Is it 5? Is it 20? What's your sense?
I don't like, I'm not going to try and make up an answer of like a number, but there's a general, I mean, Hormozi said that past 10, he reckons the marginal difference is pretty much 0. So I think a few things. I think firstly, it's not number, but it's probably quality. Like that helps, right? If you have one testimonial, but you've taken someone from 0 to 100K a month, that's better than 10 of 0 or 10 of not much. The other thing is like, well, yeah, give me the context of your question, and then I think I can answer it better.
Yeah, they're just more. So I'm. It's one of the big pushes I'm doing at the moment is to try and get as many testimonials through the door, and it's more just like, again, trying to focus on the key bottleneck. When does that reach a point of diminishing returns? Sounds like 10 is probably a good starting point for that. Okay.
I mean, I think the way, and thanks for that context. I think the way to look at it is after you've got 10 good or fairly good to good testimonials, it's pretty hard for someone to say this person doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's, I guess, like the minimum threshold of why we use testimonials. The other way to do it is what Charlie Morgan does, which is like the unlimited scroll of testimonials. But like that he only does that. Like there's no difference between him having 220 and 180. It's like the idea of like, I cannot scroll to the end of his testimonials. That's the kind of like, so that's what I've created on my Instagram. That's the idea of what my Instagram is, like the large stack of proof.
That's your Free Thinkers Club test page.
Yeah. The idea is like, there's so many things that people have to say about me that you can't even get to the bottom of this page, sort of idea.
Okay. And then we'll talk another time. So if you could look at my latest reel, because it was the one that we said to do, and it's doing all right on views, but engagement again is still sort of not there. So have a look and let me know.
Yeah, I'll send a loom over to you for sure.
Thanks. Cheers.
No worries. Remy?
Yes, mate. I wanted to hear what about the trial reels section, because I create so much content myself. Like I'm literally, I don't know, creating 4 to 5 content a day. And I'm posting on the feed the ones that I think can target the ICP most, and then the other ones that can be more of the top of the funnel. I launch it on trial reels and see how it goes. So what exactly are your thoughts when it comes to trial reels, how we should use them, one? And the second one, when it comes to reposting content that made well on trial reels, because that's what I'm doing.
Trial reels good, but they're banning this idea of just unlimited trial reels. My idea in my head is when you're growing your account, you should not post them and just post them on your main. Like what are trial reels? They're probably best designed for people who have got massive audiences that want to check whether their post is good for their massive audience. So Instagram trying to get your big creators to post more like they're on TikTok. But for us, it doesn't matter. Trial reels were only good when you could use them as basically free paid ads.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. And then I wanted to ask you if over the last, let's say 20 content, you believe that I'm hitting the right ICP or I'm still like misleading to trying to get viral.
Yeah, I think 100% you're hitting it. As long as you're calling out travel creators. I mean, from what I've seen, like obviously it doesn't all pop up, but like, bro, from what I've seen, you're doing the 20K challenge, right? Or something that like the 20K thing. Perfect. Like travel creators making less than 20K, hitting them and being like, okay, you're going to make more than 20K doing this, etc., is really good. And then the pain points you're talking about in terms of the getting the inbound leads from those people or getting the messages being like your content resonates is perfect.
Okay, because I think I'm doing the 20K thing majority on stories. On content, I'm just eating the pain points of travel creators or making them see themselves into my story with storytellings.
And this is what I'd say to everyone, right? Is like, obviously I can review everyone's ICP and see if they're hitting it, but I want to give you the toolkit to know whether you're hitting it or not. And the question is like, you've made your ICP document and you need to think like, does this person feel spoken to? And do you think that's right?
Sure. Yeah, I would say yeah, majority of them, yes. Some of them, I still have this, okay, let me get viral, because what I'm noticing is that you attract a lot of travel creators by those kind of crazy like classic travel content, saying like it's better to miss it's home rather than missing the world.
For sure. And that's good, right? Because it still speaks to your ICP. Right? Like it's that like you're not making a bit of content which is not ICP related content there.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, to answer your question, yes. And I if I ever see something and I'm like, this isn't good, then I let you know. And I've seen things and I've been happy.
Perfect. Okay.
Awesome.
How much you post personally, just identity content videos yourself? Like just talking about yourself?
A lot, bro. Like a lot. But the thing is, and this is the magic. I feel like I'm speaking to an empty room of people. If anyone wants to turn their camera on, that'd be nice. But I don't mind. But like it feels like I'm back in school where everyone got the camera off. There you go. Hi guys. I don't mind if you have your camera on and you're working on other things. That's fine. But I like seeing people's faces. With that, I'm always thinking, what of my personality or my story is interesting to my ICP? So like, for example, like if I was to say, I don't know, I think I used the example, which is like, I don't really talk about my rugby or my sport that much because that's like kind of interesting, but like not interesting to everyone. But I definitely talk about like how much I believe that the 9 to 5 is an awful thing, how bad it is for people and how unfulfilling it is. So you want to pass your personality through a filter of what is interesting to your person.
Interesting. Okay. Talking about your story, your personality based on what can be really matching the ICP.
And the best way to think about it is like, the My Story video. If you think about the My Story video, the way I think about it is like, I've got 1,000 things that I could talk about in My Story video, right? I could talk about the fact that I went to a grammar school. I could talk about all these weird, wacky things in my life, but I got to pick the things that are right for the person who's going to be interested.
Yes.
And that's where the personality stuff comes in. So like Josh, we mentioned, you were talking about like Josh, and I know you're going to feel very spoken to, Josh, when I talk about ICP, but I think it is your biggest work on. And that is like, Josh posted like a really like funny video about getting a like or an inbound or something like that in his bed about content. And I was like, that's a great bit of content, but it's like the wrong channel. Like it's like you're posting for the complete wrong offer, because realistically what that should have said is like, when I'm in bed with my other half and I get an inbound about a property or something like that, right? So it's like, I don't know, Remy, the fact that you travel all around the world, like that says a lot that I've noticed that from you. Well, obviously travel creators are going to fucking love that, right? Like that's great. But the fact you like I don't know, bro, I'm making it up. The fact you like wearing caps, travel creators probably just not that interested in that sort of thing, right?
Gotcha.
Matty boy.
Hey, so I wanted to ask, like, I know you've got a crazy tracking system right now, but when you first got started, when you first like were posting on content, you wanted to find the signal on what was working. Like, what tactics did you use, like bare bones, very MVP, to find out the best pieces of content that were working, and what tactics did you use to kind of replicate that?
Great question. Do you mean content that was working for me or content that was working for the masses?
Content that was just working for you. Like, I've got all my content, I'm gonna look at it. How do I find out what's going well and do it in a fast, low admin burden way? And then how do I apply that to new content?
It's a funny thing, and I think some people are going to try and shoot me through the screen on this one. But although I created the content tracking sheet, while I do like that, and it's so hard, right? Because I have two things. I have my keyboard's not working. So you'll all know this, right? I have my content tracking sheet, which I fill in. Well, I actually get my VA to fill in, which is one of the reasons why I'm not that convinced on you guys using it now. But I get this, and this helps me like see the total engagement, right? So I literally, like, to give you a really actionable insight, I just went and filmed in a podcast studio for 3 hours, and I went and I just got my VA to send me my top 10 best performing reels in July and August, and I went and just remade all 10 of them, all 20 of them, right? So that is the way I think about it, and that is really useful with this system. But when you're doing a bit more of a scratch approach, and probably when you're not using labor to help you, the best way to do is to use Instagram, and is literally to go on this and to go on. I mean, thing is, it's hard to know which one to use, but I normally I think likes are pretty good. I mean, they're pretty much the same, but just go and do this. Okay, why did this do well? I mean, this format was absolutely popping. Like, this format, so many people have copied me on this format, but like, it's like, okay, great, controversial take on Bali. That clearly did very well, got 128 likes. And I'm basically just filtering through these top ones and asking myself, why did they do well? And then basically just like seeing if I can remake them. So you see this one, like, I clicked this from our call, I saw it did well, and then I went and posted a video with Gabs, like here, but it did a lot worse. Okay, why did that do worse? I reckon it's because Gabs' scream is off. Thanks, Gabs. I'm joking, but I think like that was probably the reason why. Or maybe the topic wasn't good enough. Okay, so what's my next play here? Well, clearly what is interesting is, could I try and make a video about this topic? And actually, I've had people repeat this story back to me. So I'm going to make another video about this topic. This one was one about Bali. So I'm going to remake that one. So I'm basically just going back and like, not really so systematically, but just actually just going and looking. And Tommy, this is very applicable for obviously LinkedIn as well. Like, just anyone, we just want to take the winning ideas. So just looking at the most engaged posts and then seeing, could I make it again? Could I make it in a different format? So for example, Mateus, can I make your reel, but as a talking head as opposed to you on the screen? And then I'm going to get a bit of an idea. Okay, should I keep cropping up one-on-one calls, or should I be using it as a testing ground and getting ideas? Does that kind of, I know that's a bit, that's how I think about it at least.
Yep. No, that makes sense. And I wanted to ask as well, so like, is the focus should be on, not on creating new value that your audience hasn't heard yet, but from what you're saying, you should be focusing on winning value that your audience algorithm likes a lot. Is that the focus that you would recommend?
Absolutely. And every, like, making, like, I would recommend every single person on this call to never ever make a bit of content that you're not confident is going to do well because you haven't copied it from somewhere. Then when you start getting to scale and you're putting out content like me, then you can kind of play around a little bit. But in general, the best way to make good content is just go and rip other people's content. And I promise you, that is what everyone is doing, from like, the table I was on, Mateus, yesterday, with everyone who's got 200, 300, 400K subs or followers. They're all doing it. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's just copying content and going for themselves.
Amazing. Gonna go and plagiarize. Thanks, man.
Yeah, do it. I mean, I actually want to show you what this looks like, because I think this is like a skill that I got done in front of me, and I'm like, this is exactly how I'll come up with content, and then just go and send it to like someone.
Front and Bali, 400 euros.
Okay, like perfect, right? So how much do you? I don't know if anyone's seen this content before, but like this, like how much do you pay for a night in Bali? How much do you pay for a night in Dubai? Like all of these things, this content originally banged and was blowing up from like someone. And this guy has clearly just gone, I'm gonna go make the same bit of content, and it will do well because it's a format that works.
I'm an English stoner who ran away to Thailand.
Okay, this is working very nicely for me. I regret leaving the UK. I regret leaving England, or do I? So that topic is performing so well because all you need to do is scroll and you'll see that any video that talks about leaving the UK or going to Bali or leaving for Dubai, anything like that, explodes. Does very well. So again, all of those people, they're not coming up with that idea themselves. I can assure you, they're just scrolling on their feed and see it and are like, fuck it, I'm going to make that video. So that's the way we want to come up with content, not going, what do I feel like making today? That's risky. That's like trying to go for a home run.
Love that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, was that useful?
Yeah, very useful.
Yeah. I think that's like probably the perspective shift. I mean, Connor gave it to me. Like that was the perspective shift that was humongous for me. And then I will just go on like a reel, especially one of those B-roll reels, and I'll just send it over to my editor and say, make that with my B-roll. And obviously your process is do it yourself, but like that's the process we want to go through, using ideas that work and then playing on them as opposed to just trying to come up with new ones ourselves. Yeah, it's a bit sad when you realize that content creation is just copying people, but like, you know, we're all here to make money, not be influencers. So that's the aim of everything, right? Remy?
Yes, by the way, amazing call. Like I'm getting a lot of inputs that can be applied. There's this one video that is crazy. Every single time I post myself jumping from that cliff, it just goes over 200,000 views at least, minimum. Okay, just minimum. It doesn't go under. Now, I posted that so many other times, but I'm willing to post so many other times if it actually works. Okay, and how do you think I can turn that to just get as much as ICPs as possible rather than the fish theory that you said, right? Because right now I'm noticing like between the snakes, because there are a lot of snakes, but there are a lot of fishes as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you think I can tailor that piece of content in order for me to really try to niche it down more?
Yeah. That's great, mate. I love that question because that's exactly like you've got a winning format, and we're like, we just want to make sure that it's not absolutely. We want to make sure that it's not absolutely like just going viral without like for the right reasons, right? So can you just point out where it is to me?
Yeah, but if you go on the real sections,
yeah.
Okay, you see that the first three, they made the 6.4, 10 plus 1, 4.3.
I used to go to.
Okay. This one as well, and then I made another one a week ago. So if you scroll a little, Vamos, you see Vamos 364,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just continuously.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I could riff 100 ideas off this, but like the first thing is if the B-roll is working and the video changes, then what you're just telling me is just start as many videos as possible with this.
Okay, so like start doing, for example, storytelling, but I keep that for 7 seconds.
Right, if you just say like, if you're a travel creator making less than 10K a month and just started with this clip.
Okay, with the original sound though, because what I'm noticing is when I put the music, it gets low. It's just the whole sound, the whole experience of me screaming "Vamos!" Damn.
Okay.
Blah,
so,
blah.
So I mean, the first thing is like just make a meme, which is like, this is a bit dark actually because it's like jumping off a cliff. I was about to say if you're a travel creator making less than 10K a month, but I'm not sure I want to promote that style of content. But like just put like I don't know something like me when I found out, or just like make a meme out of it. That's the first thing that I would do. Like make that out of it, like that if you're telling me the Vamos works. But also start with like travel creators, by the way, and then just go silent. And then when it goes Vamos, just like have silence so that that says Vamos. And then you're like, that's the exact noise when I found out there was a whole new way that I could actually start making money from my personal travel like my travel account, and then just go into value.
Interesting. Okay.
And the other thing, which again, like is something I'm learning with these chatbots, is, bro, just go and ask that question to ChatGPT and say, I've got this clip that is incredible, and I'm not trying to replace myself here, but like, just go and just ask it for 25 different things, and it will give you at least 3 or 4 ones that are just worth doing. I think like ChatGPT is so good for brainstorming and like a canvas starter.
Claude as well.
Either or, either or. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, either or. Just ask it. Just be like, I've got this. This is what works. It needs to have the sound on, and I'm making a video which is exclusively for travel creators looking to break 10K. What would you do with the start of this clip? And that, the reason I say that is because I could come up with 100 ideas now, right? But the thing about that is, like, I want you to be able to do that every single time that you have a banger, and that would be the way that I would do it once I have a good performing video.
Gotcha.
Cheers, Morgan. Use the robots, everyone. They are so useful.
Thanks.
Cool. Did that answer your question, Remy?
For sure.
Awesome, buddy. Andrew.
Yeah, when you were searching through the reels to find those trends, how do you do that when you're looking for those? This is the ones I'm gonna grab and copy. What's your thought process?
Yeah, let me do another
process, whichever.
Yeah. So the first thing I'm thinking is like, I want to make sure that they're performing well, right? So it's this concept of an outlier video, which is it's much easier to do this on YouTube, because you can, it's actually in fact, it might be easier for me to show you on what this looks like, because I've got it's set up as a plugin. It's gonna just promote Connor's video, isn't it? So Connor's video, he has like this one, right? So what this means is it tracks how many subscribers they have, and then it tracks basically if it's outperforming the channel's average. And this is so useful on YouTube, and unfortunately that it doesn't exist on Instagram. But what we can do is just get a rough gauge of things. So if we've got like 5-figure likes, a load of comments, then this is basically saying this video bangs. And this guy has got a big following, but you still have to be a good video to do that. Whereas like, again, this one has done incredibly well, 776 comments. So this one is, I don't know who needs to hear this. That is a well-known, very like successful hook. So I'd just go and steal that hook.
So you're literally, all you're doing is you're going onto Instagram, clicking on reels, and then seeing which ones stand out, and just looking at the hook and seeing how you can. I guess that's my point. How do you take it from, right, I'm going onto Instagram, what do you do next?
So you go on reels, you look at the videos that perform well, and then you steal ideas and hooks.
Okay. So even if it's not related to your ICP, it's just the generic hook, and then.
Yeah. So for example, like if you made a video about leaving the UK or why you dislike the UK, that will do well. Because that is doing well on the internet everywhere, and everyone you see posting that does pretty well on that subject. It's my top 3 best YouTube videos, right? Or top 3 out of top 4. So it's like going on taking the idea, or if you can't take the idea because it's completely unrelated, it's thinking what else in the video can you steal from that.
Okay. So you literally just go on and click on reels, find the outliers, whoever it is.
The reframe I would say for everyone is and Andrew, I think this will be like very specific to you, is like, when you have to go and look at people's ads and you have to go on Meta Ads library and like individually search, and you have no idea how well they've done. Imagine the Reels tab is a constant scroll of the best performing ads that you can copy.
Okay.
Instagram only wants to show you the things that it thinks are good because it wants you to be entertained. So the Reels tab is just the highlights reel of the best bits of content we can copy.
Do you find, Sol, that having captions of what you're saying helps, doesn't help, doesn't make a difference? What's your
That was going to be my first bit of feedback for your reel, which is that 70% of people watch Instagram without the sound on.
Okay.
So immediately you've lost most of the people like with that.
Okay. So always do captions generally.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. All right.
And
Thanks
for
all.
that video, you can very easily put auto captions on using the Instagram app.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Cool.
Thank you.
Gabs?
Okay, yeah, so just going off the content piece, I just got a question, I think kind of saying about the demo calls and the price. So obviously I said to Sol, I had a demo call that was booked in by a cold follower, cold lead, like just started following me, booked the call straight away. We had a really good chat on Saturday, and then come Sunday, I got a Calendly in like say that she's cancelled her call, and I hadn't recorded it because I've been away and I'd done it on my phone, but so Sol couldn't kind of like see. But one thing I know Sol always says is do not say the price. So when she asked me the price, and this is towards the end of the call, I just said what you've always suggested, it's a low 4-figure investment, but she kept kind of pushing, so I kind of had to say the price because it got to a point where it's just like, why am I evading it so much otherwise? So I told her the price, and she's a software engineer, and she was like, oh yeah, sure, that's fine, so I didn't think it was any issue. But then within like 24 hours the call was cancelled, the following call. So my question is like I do struggle with this price evasion on demo calls. It's one thing saying low 4 figures, but some people, and I would be one of them, I want to know how much it is. So what do I do in those situations?
Awesome question, and also awesome to know, because that gives us another reason. That's the reason she cancelled, basically. That's without doubt, that's the reason she cancelled. So because she's left that call and thought, well, if I join that call, I'm probably going to spend multi 4 figures. And a human brain goes into, well, I don't want to spend multi 4 figures because money's scarce and all that sort of thing, right? So that's the reason why we don't say the price on the demo call. So I just wanted to kind of like confirm that, which is great. As I always say to anyone, like it's great to find out the problem, because the problem can then be fixed, and that means we don't do it again, right? So the way that I deal with that, there's multiple ways to do it, but yes, 100% you cannot say the price on the demo call when you're building a brand, for sure. What I would have said is there's a few ways you can go about it. What I do is I say we have multiple programs, and I don't know which one's the best fit for you yet, so I can't even give you the price. And if you don't have multiple programs, then I don't want to encourage lying. So what I would say is I would say, look, like I can't give you the price until I know you're a good fit. I can give you a rough range to explain what it's going to look like, but at the end of the day, let's just discuss it on the call, and then just ask another question.
Yeah, because that's the thing, I don't have other offers, and I'm not going to lie and pretend I suddenly have other services. I'm not going to not have integrity about that. But yeah, it's just, I just felt like, oh, my hands are tied a bit, because I said low 4 figures, and then she's like, no, I need to know exact, you know what I mean? She really was very specific, and it was like, oh, I don't know.
So the one frame I'd also say is like, you shouldn't have your hands tied on your own call.
No, I mean hands tied as in not say, when someone's evasive to me on the phone, that irritates me after a while. If I keep asking the same question, like, I mean, what do you just say? Oh, like, can we chat again? I don't know how many times you've dodged the question.
It's your business. You can just be like, if this is a problem, then no worries at all. Like, we don't have to book in a call, but I only talk to people about the price because I want to deliver the price to them when I know it's a good fit for them. I don't like offering my services to people who I don't know if it's a good fit.
Okay.
And then just take the other thing. It's like, if that's a problem for you, then no worries at all. You don't have to book in a call, and we can end amicably here.
Okay, so just kind of frame it in that way. So just the moral of the story is still do not say the price, basically.
Always, but I want to make sure you've got like a good toolkit to avoid that. And the way that I would say it's best to avoid that is to just basically present a smoke screen as to multiple reasons why you can't give them the price.
Okay, I need to work on that though, because it's happened obviously, as you know, a couple of times with my first one as well. And I do struggle with that, just because I know what I'm like. If I booked in a call with me and I'm really, wanting to know, because it's people's salaries, it's their income, they do want to sort of, but yes, I completely know it's a limiting belief. Straight away, I just knew when she cancelled, I was like, oh, it's because she's thought about it and thought,
But did you not ask the price with Morgan?
I did, and he said, like we said before, he said you've got different offers, but you do have different offers, Sol, and I don't.
So then insert different offers with another made up smoke screen, because while we had different offers, like we offer everyone the same offer to start with, and then if they can't afford it, we put them down. So like I don't want to say it, I have integrity in what we're saying, because we 100% do have different offers, but I'll be completely honest with you, it's a complete smokescreen, because people are looking to justify their desire to know answers that we can't give them yet. So like we want to just step away and just be like, just think of a random smokescreen. I don't know. Like the only thing that doesn't work is like it's our policy, because people don't get that, because they're like, I don't give a shit about your policy. You just got to make it beneficial to them. By the way, like I don't want to waste your time.
I was gonna say something that I do on this, Gabs, as well, is like just make it clear why it's negative for them to find that information out now. So in this context, it would be like, hey, if I was to tell you this right now, there's a chance you might be a little bit turned off, and this price, without the context of what you're getting for this price, is meaningless, and it just has the potential to scare you off. And until I give you like all the information surrounding that price, it really has no context.
So have you done that, and that's like worked for you, like when you've explicitly said that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking I wanted to see what everyone else does when they're really sort of pinned to it. Because then the other thing is, I was thinking, God, these demo calls are really annoying me, because I just be having one call and just see like, this is it, have a longer call, like this is it. But I know it's not. But yeah, it's just one of those. It's just frustrating. But thank you, Dean.
It's true. Like you're not actually lying either. You're just actually telling them, like, if you find this information out, you might not come to the call or be as inclined to. That's just true.
Yeah, and you're being honest.
Gabriella, was painful lesson on my side when you figure out that when you do something like that, you've pretty much guaranteed lost the sale.
True.
It becomes much easier to go, well, I'm going to hold my ground then, right? Because if I say it, it's 99% gone.
That's a really good way of framing it. Thank you. Yeah.
Pissy with me as you like, but I've basically just given away whatever your program price point is if I say it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's really helpful.
Nice. Thanks, guys. Awesome. Freeball. We spend the first hour talking about content, which I kind of feel bad for Pedro for, but yeah, let's go business. All content, I'm not really bothered, but yeah, Freeball. Forget everyone else is in the room and just fire your questions.
I actually don't know what I should focus on right now.
Great question.
I feel like everything requires me. In a good way. Like I'm liking it. Like we're making good sales. Content is going. I feel like I could be making more content. I feel like I could be making more sales. I feel like I could be improving the product.
Well, the question is, let's work through the kind of bottlenecks and be like, all right, what's the biggest lever that we can pull right now? That is assuming you want to scale right now. That's always the first question.
I don't know.
But that is the question. Once we got the full system running, and I've maybe making this in the roadmap, once you got the full system running, it's like, okay, do I want to increase the system, or is there leaky parts, or is it like, okay, yeah, well, how do we go about it? And then I can help you basically.
Well, I'll be honest, man. I'm kind of scared right now. If I was to take on a few more clients, I'd be like, I actually wouldn't. I don't know why I'm even saying that. It's not even true. I would be fine. I'm actually managing okay. The product is quite good. I'm probably just, I don't even know. Yeah.
This is online business haven right now. You're in right now.
Like I actually objectively things just couldn't be going better. Like so I don't even know what to focus on.
Well, I reckon you just drive around in a Ferrari in Bali, mate, or in Dubai. I think that's the play. But
yeah, maybe do more of that.
On a serious note, what I would say.
Actually, I tell you what I did do. I've added my setter to do the demo calls now.
Great. So it's like the easiest way to scale is to get more traffic. Like that's the easiest way to scale, right? Because no matter what happens, if you pump more at the top, more at the bottom is going to come out. And especially as you've removed yourself from being a constraint within that, I think your best bet is to go and make, like if you've got your setter pumping and booking in a load of calls, your best bet is just to go to the top of the system and add more fire. or add more, yeah, well, whatever you want to call it, fire oil, I don't know what it is, but just go and pump more content. So your your 3 levers to pull there is improve current content, make more content, or run ads.
My ads could be better, I think. That's another thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
And the good thing I would say is like run ads because it will make you money in 30 days time.
I actually do have ads. Might even be worth sharing what they are and sending a Loom or something, but
yeah,
not a huge amount coming in off it.
Yeah. Well, then that let's fix that because we don't want to be wasting money on that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say like the bottleneck right now is like, well, there's no bottleneck to being where you are, but the bottleneck is always in the context of where you want to be. So like if you want to make 100K next month, then the bottleneck is, well, we need a lot more traffic. If you want to just do the same next month, then just do everything you're doing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I like the latter one for now.
Great. Well, then
Yeah, like 2026.
the best thing that I would say for that is to then focus all your time that you've gained back from the setter to making as many of your clients get results.
Yeah, that's what feels like the most.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah, so the way to do that is to just get on their backs and to make like mandatory check-ins. Yeah, just be on their backs more, casually messaging them, creating resources. Because the thing is right now, like also when your system's running nicely, when you're scaling, you will not have time to make any resources. So right now my system's nice. So this is why I've been able to remove myself and do like system making for the last So let's get you making the world's best course that could have double clients. And then when we turn ads and we pump, it's ready to take them in.
Yeah, good show. Yeah, agreed.
Nice.
Thank you.
So how do you add, when you're adding your captions, do you just use CapCut? Do you use the Instagram app itself? Or do you use
Instagram app.
So literally when you add your reel into Instagram and then there's a way you can do captions in there. Okay.
Correct.
Right.
It's like on the slidey bit at the bottom and it just says CC and you just click that, it generates them and then you just, make them nice and small, make them around the chest area, around here. And then I like the ones that like don't go all at the same time. They do like one by one because it's good for attention.
Okay, so you'll always have the headline at the top. Do you do that on Instagram or do you do that?
Instagram.
Okay, so is there any particular font that you use that you've seen works best?
There's one that is legible.
Okay.
Basically, just one that like doesn't. The only thing that I think about that is like, is the background can be seen with the background.
Okay. All right. So you literally all you do is the raw film itself, and you do the title and the captions in the Instagram.
But obviously, like, I mean, I assume if the editor thing's working, then that's the like he'll take care of all that stuff, right? So he'll smash that stuff. But yeah, that's the text is like a YouTube title. That's how I think about it. How can I create as much intrigue as possible on that text?
Yeah. I was just looking back at that reel. In terms of views, it's actually doing all right. It's just, so I think you're right, just in terms of the just the captions would have helped, but never mind. Lesson for next time.
Hey, post it again with the captions. Say exactly the same reel, just with the captions.
Would you delete the existing one, or would you just literally just repeat it?
Just repeat it.
Okay.
I accidentally posted 2 videos in a row because my VA accidentally posted them, and they both did like 8K.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Easy. Okay. I'll do that.
And then the great thing is, guys, once you start making content, you can then in 3 months' time post all the same content again. So you get into this cycle of just being able to post things that work, and then that's why you never run out of content. So you can post things again. We should view reels as a dumping ground as opposed to a beautiful created thing. Just chuck shit out there, see what works, pull in leads. Every time you're doing it, you're pulling in leads, and then we use middle of funnel to try and nurture people with Instagram stories and messaging people. That's the way that I view reels.
And sorry, one last thing. So Meta Verified, did you see that making any meaningful difference to your results?
Game changer.
In what way and for what reason?
Open rate basically doubled.
Okay.
The open rate doubled. That was the stat that we tracked, and then just like vibes within the Instagram DMs, like just
Okay.
immediately people see you as an authority. And then also the other way around is that if you don't have it, you don't look like an authority. So kind of both.
Fair enough. Right. I'll get on it. All right. Thank you.
Paying more fucking money to Meta, hey, not that it's just for a little tick. So have you know Twitter, you can now pay 10 grand to get a golden tick next to you. So my mates just paid 10 grand for a tick next to it. It's ridiculous. It's just crazy. Anyway, we won't get started on our favorite topic, Andrew. Josh.
That's wild. I was gonna kind of jump off the back of what you were saying to Dean and kind of have a bit of like an overview of things, but I think Andrew's question and your answer sort of helped with that. But I think it's like, it is content for me. I definitely need jam content. I've been doing it for 3 or 4 months now, so I guess reviewing the existing stuff. But how do I need to fix any problems within the existing business? Not that there's loads of problems, but like in terms of client delivery or anything like that, just forget about all that and just jam content.
Are your clients happy?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, the thing to think is like, we're always results first, because results will make long-term businesses. So we always want to be results first. As long as your clients are happy, then we go all the way back to the top, which is if we make more content, we get more views. And the thing about that is like, if you make more good content and get more views, you can fix your sales problem because you just do more calls. Like Gabs, if we booked you 10 calls tomorrow, then you'd immediately become much better at demo calls. And that actually reminds me of something I was going to say, which is I would recommend everyone jumping on calls with each other and doing mock calls and demo calls with people. Like, fun fact, Morgan does a mock call or does sales training every single day for the last like year. So like, he's obviously great at it, but reps, right? So for you Gabs, the best way is you jump on a call with someone, I don't know, and they go, so what's the price? And you just, again, like rep of practicing telling them to fuck off, basically, like in a nice way.
That is the funniest image of Saul.
Yeah, we've lost Saul.
You got me?
Someone made a screenshot of the face of Saul.
Has anyone got me back?
That was hilarious.
I didn't.
Did you get me?
No, I didn't.
Good. No mugs, please. It's not authority content. Yeah, Josh, 100% with you is your front end is not specific enough.
Okay.
For ICP. Because like the biggest thing that I think we spoke about is like, it's knowing this dream outcome. And yes, freedom is their dream outcome, but mate, they just want better yield on their property to make more money, to be able to like, they want what you have, which is freedom, but in a proxy way. It's not driving around on a scooter in Bali, leaving their 9 to 5. It's like confidence that their assets are going to yield over 25 years time.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I'm definitely making it for more like freedom and lifestyle stuff.
You're kind of copying my style, and our freedom offers are very, very different, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's it. Like all you need to do is pass that through the filter of, is this ICP related content? And that second ICP that we came up with, not the first one.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, amazing.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Anything else? Cool. Bobby, anything from you? All good?
Hello, all good. I'm just in the stage that Dean worded well of focusing on what to focus on. But
Okay.
I think it's also useful being realistic and being aware of what you don't know as well as what you do know. So
sure.
yeah, all is well.
Good. I just,
Thank you.
as I do with anything, I will mastermind, I like to check up on everyone, but that's good. I think it's obviously good.
I think with me, treat silence is that thing. When I'm silent, things are going well. When things are not, I'll be vocal.
Great. I love to hear that. That's good. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm absolutely loving these Monday calls so far. So thank you very much for all staying for the whole 90 minutes. One thing I would love from everybody here is could everyone just put a message into the group chat with the one action that they're going to take right after this call. The one action they're going to take right after this call. That'd be massively appreciated and very useful for everyone who didn't attend. So yeah, thank you very much and have a great rest of your Monday, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank you, Sol.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.